Hello everybody and welcome to my channel All In Metals. This is our intro video and just getting this channel up and started and running. This is my first time running a YouTube channel, so bear with me as I learn as we go. But I did feel it important to go ahead and start this channel to share some information with you about metals and why perhaps it might be a good idea to be all in on metals. So I aim to inform and entertain viewers with content related to gold and silver as an influencer, but not a financial advisor. I am not one. So please consult your legal financial experts for any particular advice you might need to affect the investments that you might want to take. It's my belief, though, that as many it may be yours, that we are nearing the end of the fiat dollar monetary systems across the world, where markets are manipulated, and none more so than the gold and silver paper trading. The basis of my channel centers around the simple questions of what if and where do we go from here. These are unprecedented times and perhaps the best time in history to be all in on metals. If you like my content, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing, and of course tell your friends. So let's get into it right away. As you'll see, I have some pictures of some kilo bars of silver. Those are certainly some good items to hold or stack during these times. So, as we know, this is the early part of July. This is the 9th of July. Next week, Monday, starts some pretty heavy earnings season. As you know, in the markets presently, we have seen the Fed start to raise rates. Mortgage rates have been climbing. Inflation is obviously running rampant. These are all things you already know, but these are all things that are certainly affecting the economy at whole and at large. So again, the paper trades on gold and silver are certainly also very large compared to the actual physical holdings or inventory or volume of actual metals unearthed. So that said, this is why I aim to hold physical metal versus paper metals, and in particular gold and silver. Excuse me. So obviously the quality of your investments are going to be of issue here as we move forward. And of course, the question of where do we go from here. The Fed has, for 40 years, been decreasing rates, generally from the highs of the late 70s, early 80s. And now we've been bouncing around at the bottom near zero, trying to get liftoff, failing, and moving back to zero again. So, which is again seemingly the end of this fiat dollar system, where the dollar since 1971 has not been backed by anything but the full faith of the Federal Reserve. So with that potentially coming to an end, where do we go from here? Where do we put our money? What do we invest in? Obviously the housing sector is also in a bubble of its own, and is probably actually at higher inflated dollars and higher nominal dollars than where we were at the financial crisis. So obviously this may not be the best time to look, at least be looking to buy a house at these high prices. Many YouTube channels out there also speaking to this, and how that market may also be turning around as we speak, with inventories rising and prices starting to come down. But the question is how long will that take? And obviously that's just one market. Stocks have been obviously had the worst start in decades in 2022. So obviously they've already taken back some of those gains from late last year. So so in these times where it seems like markets are very volatile, of course, the Fed is still on a course to raise rates, which is also, purportedly to stave off inflation, which, as we all know, if you listen to the same channels I do, that's like trying to put out a fire with a water gun or a squirt gun. So they are not lifting rates fast enough. But at the same time, we still got to pay attention to that. They are on course later this month, to raise rates probably by another 75 basis points, which certainly affects all of us as well, as the middle market continues to get squeezed out. So that said, we will continue to look for places to put our money for investment, for accumulation of wealth, for preservation of wealth. And again, I would aim to say that there's probably physical assets being the best place to do that, and some of those should be put away in gold and silver. So, what if silver and gold is the best place to put your money right now? What if they are highly undervalued? What if they are manipulated, as so many of us kind of have come to realize and know? So obviously, it doesn't really matter what the spot price, in my opinion, whether it goes from 30 to 20 or 20 to 15 or 15 back to 25, so long as you are, averaging in and purchasing the physical metals to hold, because really, unless you hold it in your hands safely, then you essentially do not own them, especially if you're in ETFs or other financial instruments that are just paper in nature. Unless you physically own them and have them in your possession, that I believe is the best strategy of holding and actually having and owning physical metals, like other assets that you might aim to hold, like your house, any real estate or other investments, and other diversification. So it also could be that a what-if scenario, what if silver is in fact way undervalued compared to its counterpart. We all are aware of the gold to silver ratio, which I think is topping 90 these days, or maybe it's come back down a little bit, but certainly that is a high ratio. And silver may be one of the most underperforming assets, at least on paper and on trading and in manipulated markets, that could be up for a surprise side to the upside. So what if? But beside that fact, it just makes sense to diversify, own both gold and silver, I believe, and certainly can't hurt to be certainly buying in these times when the price drops, as it has this past few weeks, and has for the last bit of time here, a couple months, in fact, to dollar cost average and buy some in. So that said, I'm going to wrap it up here. Just wanted to give an introduction. Again, this is the intro to my channel, All In Metals. Perhaps it is the best time to be considering to own and take delivery of and have in your possession physical metals of gold and silver. Again, if you like, please hit the like button and subscribe and tell your friends. I appreciate it. Thank you.